What's up, movie lovers? It's Jay Spice Reviews, and I'm excited because I get to talk about my favorite Friday the 13th movie, which is Friday the 13th Part 6 Jason Lives. So, Jason Lives is a 1986 slasher movie. It was directed and written by Tom McLoughlin, and it stars Tom Matthews, Jennifer Cook, David Kagan, Nay Jones, Carrie Noonan, Darcy DeMoss, and Tom Fridley. So, basically the background of this movie is Friday Part 5, A New Beginning came out, and it made money, but nobody really liked it just because there was no Jason. So, actually, I'm going to need to have Wikipedia out. It made a bunch of money, but people hated it just because there was no Jason. So, Frank Mancuso Jr. hired this director, Tom McLoughlin, who only made one horror movie, and that was his only movie. It was called One Dark Night. I haven't seen it. Maybe I will one day. So they basically said that Tom McLoughlin can do whatever he wants, but the only thing that he has to do is bring Jason back and have him be the villain. So then he wanted it to be like a tribute to old Universal Monsters movies, specifically Frankenstein. He has a bunch of horror references and stuff, and then he made it a little bit more different, so he added a bunch of meta humor, which is 10 years before Scream, and the fact that he had this much meta humor is great. That's really cool. And he added like action film elements like car chases and shootouts and stuff. So basically the plot of this movie is that I don't even know if I think Friday Part 5 is in the timeline of this, but they basically ignore it. So Tommy Jarvis from Part 4 and 5 goes down to Jason's grave to make sure that he's dead for real, but he gets mad and he just starts taking his anger out on him. He starts stabbing him with this metal pole, and then he leaves it inside Jason. Jason gets struck by lightning, and he comes back to life as a fully decayed gray zombie. And basically, Tommy has to go defeat Jason before he can get to Camp Crystal Lake, which is now called Camp Forest Green, and kill all the counselors there. And he also has to deal with like this cop who hates him. So the good of this movie, I'm going to be talking a lot about how good this movie is because I love it. The meta humor, first off, great. A lot of funny moments. There's even one scene where they break the fourth wall, but it doesn't take you out of the movie because the tone of the movie is very clearly established with all the jokes in the beginning. And there's the opening is really good. It's basically a Frankenstein tribute. Like I said with Part 5, how Part 5 felt like the beginning felt like a old monster movie. That's how this one felt, even more, just because Jason's getting struck by lightning. I thought the characters were really good. They were really fun and entertaining. And I know Part 4, everybody loves Fred's characters, but I like the characters in this one a bit more just because they like more variety in their personality. I felt like all the characters in Part 4, or like all the teenage characters, felt kind of the same. These ones, they stand out a bit more. There's this one guy who is apparently John Travolta's nephew. He definitely looks like him. And he has this stupid story that's, well, I guess it's racist about like Native Americans. It's really funny. One of my friends, I showed it to him, and he told me to mention it, so there you go. And Tommy Jarvis is really good. He's played by Tom Matthews. I think this might be my favorite iteration of Tommy, because I mean Corey Feldman's really good, and I liked what John Shepard did, where he was like a mute and had anger issues, but he wasn't a very good role, like lead character in a horror movie, just because he's not really in it and he's quiet for most of the time, so you can't really engage as much in him. But Tommy in this movie, he's still crazy, but he's charismatic and he's like more sane, I guess. And the final girl, Megan, she's really cool because she's like interested in Jason and stuff when her dad doesn't want her to be, and he hates Tommy. He's a really cool character because he's just like a complete douchebag that you love to hate. Nikki, well, actually, I don't even know why I mentioned her. She's okay. But all the characters, Sissy, she's really cool. What's that one girl name? I think her name's like Lizzie. She was cool. And then they have like a little girl, cause guess what? Camp Crystal Lake finally has kids. That was another really good part of this movie. They finally introduced kids, and they had them in little moments, but it's not like the whole movie is about the kids. They just had them in certain scenes, and they were really funny. They got good child actors, cause child actors can either be really good or really bad. They got really good ones for this. They have some really funny lines. And obviously I have to talk about the kills. The kills are awesome. There is a couple off-screen kills, because there's always going to be off-screen kills, but they're good. There's a lot of really fun, unique kills in this. Jason is unstoppable. Jason is super intimidating, and he's a complete badass. He has like new yellow gloves, and he has a utility belt. His look is awesome. And there's some really funny kills, and Jason kind of feels like a superhero just because of how strong he is, and then like he slowly discovers his strength. There's one part where he kills a guy and then he's like, whoa, did I just do that? like he looks and he's like, whoa. The climax is really cool, and it's very poetic, I guess. I mean, the way that it was first introduced, it was like, really? That's how Tommy figures out how to stop Jason? But then it was like, the ending was so cool, I didn't care. The soundtrack is almost all Alice Cooper, and it's really good. It fits in with the movie really well. The car chases were cool. There's a lot of cool lines. Like the one dude who has like a pistol, and it has a laser sight on it, so then he always just aims at people and goes, wherever the red dot goes, yeah, bang. And then there's a bunch of other funny one-liners like that. But yeah, I just really love this movie. If I had one negative, I think it would be Tom McLaughlin was forced by the producers to add extra kills, so he added 3 more. It kind of felt out of place, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter. So I think this is actually like a perfect Friday movie. And this probably has the best story in the franchise, because it feels different. Like, it still feels like a Friday the 13th movie, but it's different enough to stand out with all the meta humor, the action movie elements, and it's like super fast. It's not like just a group of teenagers showing up at the camp or at a cabin or whatever, just hanging out, doing whatever, and then Jason shows up and then they have a chase scene. No, it's not really a chase scene at the end. It's like this big final fight between Tommy and Jason. It's awesome. And it still is like series of different people dying in like different scenes, but they're all really fun. But yeah, I really love this movie. I give Friday the 13th a 10 out of 10. So tomorrow we're going to do Friday Part 7, The New Blood. So I'll see you then. This is J Spice Reviews, and I'm saying bye. Bye.